Band-Aids?
We should get some Band-Aids down here.
You better bring some turkey hunting. I know you're not using a broadhead, but you never know.
Oh yeah, I have to. I'll have to show you some fun stuff. Every time you come here, it's like, what are we going to show you?
I saw your Newcomb blinds in the ground.
The Newcomb blinds. I had set those up. I was trying to keep the kids occupied.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, guys, just you can like play army, hunt, whatever you want. Just there's 2 of them, so like you guys can really make use here. If I had 3, then it'd be perfect because there's 3 kids. But they for pretending to turkey hunt. It was hilarious. He even has like a little shotgun, and then they're like, no, you're not doing it right. And then I was like, I don't think the turkey's supposed to help the hunter figure out how to shoot the gun, guys, but all right. Like,
it's very helpful.
Did you see the video?
I saw the beginning of it, but I didn't see
it went on to see, yeah, if you were to continue to watch, you'd see that unfold. It's pretty funny, I thought.
I definitely have to go back and watch it.
Anywho. Here. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the OKS Hunter Podcast.
Here we are.
We're back in the studio yet another week. If you're listening, yeah, we said thanks last time. It's going to be a while before we say that again.
He's just being real.
Yeah. We've gotten a lot of messages about our Theodore Roosevelt post that went out on Instagram and Facebook. And just thanks for all the feedback on that. It wasn't meant to be political. And I understand and recognize that Theodore Roosevelt himself was, in fact, a politician. So I can see how we get there.
You were doing it from a conservation.
Yeah. It happened hit at a time when...
They're all a little tied up right now. They're a little mixed together.
Yeah, it really is. I was like, that wasn't a bad post. But anywho, Theodore Roosevelt was a badass. He had like everything stacked against him as a kid. And like asthma and all sorts of terrible things. And he just went to a gym in their home or something. And he would go to the gym for hours and hours and hours every week to just not have to be that way.
He's just badass.
And he was that way with everything throughout life. Do you know he lost his wife and his daughter on the same day? And then he went and just the next day went and herded cattle. Just what an interesting man. I so badly. Does he have an autobiography? I'm assuming. Is it autobiography or just biography? Like, what's the difference?
Biography, for sure. Biography. Autobiography.
No, that's the difference. I'm stupid. But,
no, your brain's just 15 other places.
But no, I'm also stupid. We should know that difference. But a biography of him would be quite fascinating. I've learned a lot about him through the Stoicism stuff because he's referenced a ton in that.
That's interesting.
And I'm like, wow. So I'm reading about Stoic philosophy and the likes of Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, and then all of a sudden there's Theodore Roosevelt.
Pops in there.
He was referenced today on the Daily Stoic. Whatever chapter I'm on, I have no idea, but it's not whatever today is. I just am on these things on repeat.
Backlog.
Yeah. But we're brought to you by Nosler. So be sure to check out Nosler.com. As long as you're 18, you can get into the website. If you're not, you're going to have to lie your way in and say yes anyways. I didn't tell you to do that. Been asked about the codes that we have. It's OHP, which stands for OKS Hunter Podcast. It gets you a discount on all of the partners we work with, including Gerber. I think Bear Archery. If not, I'll have to double check. Certainly Rack Hub and Latitude Outdoors. I think that's everybody. And I mean, it's May right now. I don't. Gerber, though, we're going to turkey camp this weekend coming up.
In a couple days. And
we got a bunch of they have like their
crazy amount of camping stuff that I did not know that they made.
They're known to be like multi-tools and knives, and they have saws. Like machetes and saws and hatchets and stuff, but they have a camp cookware product lineup, and it's pretty great. They have like a saute pan. Wow, that sounds really weird to say.
Saute
pan. Say saute pan.
Saute pan.
Sounds like one word.
Speaking another language.
I just learned.
What are you excited to cook in that saute pan?
Well, I'm mostly excited about the griddle, actually.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah,
the pancakes.
Because you're making pancakes.
Pancakes and bacon are going to be but the saute pan, I think, is what's the metal that it reacts to heat almost instantly? Stainless?
Stainless steel?
I think it's stainless steel. And I hope I'm not wrong. I'm going to go to their website really quick and see. I can't scroll.
But you're bringing all that stuff to turkey camp this weekend?
Yeah, so I really am excited. Oh, and the handle of the saute pan, you can remove it, and it's also it's literally just a bottle opener.
Perfect.
So it's just like they're really good at like thinking through making sure things you get as much use of them as you possibly can. Like the keychains have a lot of function to like fix stuff and all that. There's just a lot of cool things. 3-ply base construction. I don't know what that means. Maximum heat distribution prevents hotspots. I'm reading off of the website right now.
So if you burn the pancakes, that's on you, homie.
But you guys they're talking about like in our group text vegetables. So it's got tall sidewalls. So we can chop a bunch of vegetables, saute them in there, mushrooms if we want to get asparagus from the freaking ditches on the way up or whatever we're gonna do.
Morels,
I know.
Fresh turkey tenderloin.
I'm very excited about the whole theme of the weekend of just getting into. We don't even know. We have no idea. All I know is I got 2 campsites. And we're going. I mean, it's kind of it. Like,
the weather looks beautiful.
We don't really know much about food or like who's riding with who. I'm sure I'll get figured out in the last minute.
We'll figure out those minor details.
But Kodo HP across all of our partner websites. Quick Trip. I don't have an OHP for Quick Trip because you have to go there and buy stuff. It's a retail shop. It's a little bit different. But they did confirm they're going to be in the giveaway for July, so there'll be some really nice gift cards going out.
If you want a weird look that no one will know what you're talking about, you can tell them that the Okayest Hunter sent you, but no one will know.
No one will know. Yeah, no one there that works.
I suggest you do it though.
It'd be really weird if someone's like, "Oh yeah," which I'm like, "What?" I wonder if they have ever they communicate that to their staff. Like, here are the people we work with. FYI, so you see people running around with cameras, like you know.
We've been in some interesting situations at Quick Trips with cameras. No one said anything yet.
I think they don't know. I think they must just assume like that happens all the time.
Hanging in the tree stand in your parking lot.
That was a good time. That was an epic shot, I thought. Well, we do have a topic and a guest today. Well, we kind of have a topic. We definitely have a guest. I think is he there? Here he comes. So. He's coming back. His phone went vertical. I wonder if it'll go back to horizontal. Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what? Troy, to answer your question earlier, is your phone vertical right now or horizontal?
No, it's vertical.
It's vertical. Can you turn it horizontal?
I don't know, actually. I'm on this. Let's see.
Oh, look at that. Now you got more stuff.
Bang. Is that better?
Yeah, way better. There you go. I didn't realize it was like that. It just framed you automatically into the horizontal.
Welcome
I didn't realize
show, Horizontal Troy.
So that's
all right. Now, hey, look, we're here. Hey, cheers, boys. Thanks for having me on.
Hey.
So, what bourbon are you sipping on over there?
Maker's Mark, man. It's not fancy. It's not bottom of the line, but it's what I like.
That's a good love Maker's Mark.
We're drinking the stuff that had us do a really weird episode that one time. It's called
it.
Chicken Cock Double Oak Kentucky whiskey.
I've heard of that.
I guess in spirit of turkey camp coming up, it can still play.
Hey, listen, guys, I don't appreciate me coming on here and you're playing with my brain already with horizontal, vertical. You threw a trick question in there, and I had to figure out what the answer was.
You got the foam padding in the background, though, so let's talk about that and what you're into because, so Interstate Music is a pal of ours. Specifically, Jeff is a great guy. Sam is okay. He's my brother-in-law. Sam's great. He's the reason we're doing this. He's our intro on our podcast. If you heard his voice there, that's him. And
your son upstairs was just showing me the guitar.
Yeah,
Sam got
he's getting the kids into music over here, and he teaches them stuff. He set up a drum set for Dane. It's pretty neat. But so you work with Sam. You're under the Interstate Music label. Let's talk about what you're doing in that world, man. That's a totally different world than anything I'm used to.
Yeah, man. Well, you're kind of looking at my little home studio. I don't know much about soundproofing a room, especially in an apartment. So there's just a little bit of foam, and then I want to put all my bucks on the wall. Really, that's my only goal is to make this as like wildlife as possible. And my wife probably hates it, so but that's all right. No, man, I'm in the Interstate Music is my manager, so they've been great to me so far, and we're just I guess that's how I found you guys, and this is a cool opportunity. I appreciate you having me on. But yeah, man, I've released, I don't know, 13 songs so far in my little short career. I think it started when I was 25. I'm 29 now. But yeah, it's been fun, man. Nashville's it's a crazy life and it's tough, but we just keep on chugging along.
What's the first of all regarding the foam? I wanted to just say like you could really do it up if you get some foam targets and just like build a studio out of foam targets.
Well, I was gonna say, you just tell your wife, Troy, that you read some guy told you that the more Euro mounts you have in a room, the more soundproof it is, better acoustic quality. Yeah. So you just keep stacking the racks up and hanging them up.
You're on it, dude. You're on it.
We'll send you some rack up stuff too from one of our partners because if you don't have the whole Euro mount and just the antlers, you can actually display them on the wall. So it's like a pretty neat little setup.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that would do a great job of soundproofing the room for sure. I think if I don't know what size this room is, like 14 by 12 or something, but we could get enough antlers in here.
One way to find out.
There's only one way, and we're gonna hunt more.
That's it. Well, so like, do you incorporate? We're going to talk a lot about hunting, but we'll stay on course for now to talk about your like music career. Like talk about some of your songs, anything we can get to what's on deck or on the horizon, but those 15 that you've released so far, what are they about, man? Like, how do you describe this to people that haven't heard of you before?
Well, let's see. So I love country rock. That's kind of what I came up on. The first was Travis Tritt. And he was like the first country artist that kind of tugged that line. And people weren't a fan of it at first, or the labels weren't a fan of it at first. And then once those songs came out, everybody loved them. So he kept on going. So he was the first one. And then once I got older, Jason Aldean kind of took over for me. So I love writing in that kind of style. Not all of my music is going to show that. Hopefully all of my music moving forward does, but the past like 4 or 5 have. Just trying to be more consistent in that regard. But honestly, probably the first 8 or 9 songs that I released, we're just trying to figure out like, the only goal, I'm telling you, the only goal was to get music out. It didn't matter about the money. No, it's not like you get paid a lot anyway. But once the I have one big song which is at like 5.5, 6 million streams now.
Damn.
Is that a lot for like I don't know music stuff?
It's a lot for me.
Sounds like a lot, but I don't know. Yeah, okay.
I would say that it's a lot for someone who's not signed to a label. So that came out like 3 years ago, I would say. And once that hit, I started making a little bit more money. And then it became about, okay, let's figure out what Troy Grove is. So yeah, I've been kind of playing with a couple different, I don't know, subgenres in country music. We've done the pop route. I don't like that. We've done the rock route, which I love. My my last 2 releases have been country rock, and we're just kind of zoning in on that. But Can We Skip This was a huge song for me. Time on You was like one that came on right after that, just to keep that flowing.
Can We Skip This is the name of the song. I just want to like pause for a second there because I thought you were literally saying, "Can we just skip this part?"
Oh. I was like, whoa. So Can We Skip This part is the song. But the title is Can We Skip This?
What does that mean? Is it like talking about dating? Like we just skip this part and get to like or are we talking about like marriage?
You hit it right on the head there. So basically what it is, it's the song is, we sat down to write it and I had this idea and I can't remember what the idea was. It was like, but when I said the idea, the guys were like, yeah, we're going to have to reword that because that sounds almost like, I don't know, abusive or something. It was weird. I don't know what it was.
I wish I knew what it was.
I was like, no, I promise. It's like coming from a loving standpoint. I just don't know. I don't know how to express it. I'm trying to say another way to say, like, I just met this girl and I already love her. So, it was too aggressive, not abusive. Wow, what a word.
I mean, they're pretty similar.
Could have been abusive down the road. Who knows?
I tell my kids, you get too silly, it turns into trouble. You get too aggressive, it turns abusive.
Yeah, I actually have a song kind of about that. I've never been through that, but I wrote one about it. But anywho, Can We Skip This is basically we rewrote it to you walk into a bar because you had a long work day on a Monday, and that's the worst, first of all. But then you see this chick that's by herself, she needs another drink, and so you just walk right up. But in your head, you're thinking, damn, can I just skip to the part where like we're already dating and we're doing all this fun shit, and then we're getting married, and that's it. So that whole song is what, 3 minutes long. That's the idea.
I like that. I mean, I wish I could say, can we skip this with deer hunting with certain things like taking trail cam inventory? I seem to skip it every year anyways.
Yeah.
But I don't get the results because I didn't actually skip it. I just didn't do it.
The wife.
So that's kind of like a trend that I wanted to start. It never took off, but any sort of random video of somebody working or everyday life, like I just posted one today of a baby throwing up on somebody.
Skip this.
And it was in the background, it was, can we skip this? Baby, can we skip this part? And then it was me singing the rest of it. But, you know, hopefully that becomes a trend here shortly.
I always wonder where trends actually like literally start. If you could get to the epicenter of a trend, like when do they start?
Phenomenal question.
No one ever really knows. It just starts to happen. It's crazy.
Everything's random, and I've come to figure out that nobody knows what they're doing ever.
Oh, that's true. I mean,
there's just people who fake it better than others.
Right. Some people can get away. Some people are pretty good at acting, and they can get away with it looking real. But
are you calling names on any of that?
No.
We're good at looking real. Stupid.
Like a lot of videos,
we don't have to act.
A lot of videos that go viral are like already staged.
Oh, that's probably true. You know what's funny is I had a video of my son Dane. I think it was like 2 summers ago, and he got a paper towel tube or like a gift wrapping tube, and he just screamed into it. And I was like, dude, that sounded like an elk call. Like, I'm not even sure what the hell just happened here. Did you just? I was like, do it again, and I recorded him. And I was like, sounds like fucking elk. So I sent it to what's that stupid Barstool?
Yeah,
Outdoors. They reposted it.
Right. See, and it's stuff like that. It's like random stuff that catches your attention, and you're like, okay, this is it. The world's got to see it.
It's like we're all just trying to do America's Funniest Home Videos, but like we can just do it ourselves. We don't have to like send it to Bob Saget.
You don't need a VHS camcorder anymore.
We sent our video into their America's Funniest Home Videos, and
we're hoping we hear back in a year.
So like in the audience, looking all awkward, like we won because we look so fucking stupid.
Those are the best. When the family stands up and Dad's like, "Hey, good job! Remember when you fell down the stairs? Nice work, Tommy."
Can we bring?
Dude, you know what I hate?
Can that guy come back to the internet, please?
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what I hate though about like anything that goes viral. Not anything. Like, we're looking for America's Funniest Home Videos type of stuff. But then somebody has to go on there and post a video of their dog actively dying. And it goes super viral. And it's like, why do I want to see that? I have a dog right here next to me laying in the bed while I'm watching this video. Before I go to sleep.
That is a good point. The newest trend I just happened because I look out for it like intention. I'm looking out for them. I'm trying to see.
You're always the first to jump on that.
And the one I have noticed is starting to become a trend is I forget the song, but there's a song, and right when it gets to the slow-mo part, it's someone speeding in a car and getting into a car accident. And some of them are terrible. I'm like, no way this dude lived. I'm not sure who got this footage, but like they probably shouldn't have posted it. But you can't not watch it.
See, but you can't take your eyes off of it. So at the same time, it's like, okay, so they got us somehow, but I don't want to watch it, but I can't not watch it.
It's good for 2 views from everybody because the first time they're like, and they're like, well, let's see that again and look a little closer. Oh, see, look at now you're racking up double the views. Yeah, that's smart.
So
those are some smart bastards.
The songs that have like tipped the scales for you, have they like what do you point to that has done that? Is it just because like you've massaged the Spotify algo, or has it been TikTok, Instagram, all the above, Interstate doing stuff, live shows, doing the just pounding the pavement and like putting in the work?
No, man, it's all for me at least. It's all social media. There's literally nothing else. Like I don't pay for marketing. Like you guys know, TikTok and Instagram is free marketing.
Yep.
So if there's anybody that's trying to be a country artist or whatever, any kind of artist, why wouldn't you use TikTok and Instagram? And I hesitated to use TikTok because I thought it was for kids. And then I used it, and then now here we are, 180,000 people later, invested in what I'm doing, you know.
Cool.
But it just took a couple viral videos, man. There was no rhyme or reason. Like I said, definitely nobody in the music industry knows exactly what they're doing. So you're just throwing shit at the wall and
You got
hoping
a
it
cool name though
sticks.
too. Like you got the name. Sometimes like the name works. Troy
Yeah.
Grove like sounds like you're. I'm like, guys, sounds like a big deal. I don't even know who he is. Sounds like
Well, I
he's the dude.
appreciate
Like I feel like I should know Troy Grove.
it. Right. That's cool, man. Well, you can thank my parents for that, I guess. They're probably watching right
It's
now.
not a
So.
stage name. All right, that's what I was trying to confirm.
No, it's not a stage name. That's a real name.
Yeah, like no one's gonna be like, did you hear that singer Eric Clark? Like, that wouldn't happen.
I love Clark.
Yeah. Steve Johnson.
Right. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, but no, it's all luck of the draw, man. I had a couple videos. One that sticks out is one that my wife took. Dude, I bought her a camera for her own use, and I was like, let's take that out and let's go video. I had a song called "Hold Your Peace," which is that Jason Aldean kind of vibe, and so we went out to this park, and we found this little creek, and we're like, okay, this is a cool spot to shoot, and the angle that she was shooting at was like straight into the clouds almost, where I was standing there on the hill, but we had the camera settings where it was just like you couldn't even see the clouds. It was just white in the background. So there was like the contrast was way off. And luckily I was wearing a black shirt so you could still see me. But in the beginning of the video, the camera was so shaky because she couldn't like get it right on me. And I didn't have anything to like steady it. So anywho, she shot the video and I got all the videos back. I cut a few of them. I posted a couple of them. They didn't do nothing. And I remember that first video, and I was like, I remember actively passing on that video. And I was like, nah, I'm going to cut that. And then I was like, you know what? I don't have anything to post tonight. I'm just going to post this, see what happens. And then overnight, it was 1.1 million. And I was like,
the most
oh,
common story. I've heard that everywhere. Like,
yep. And that's how it always happens. And that's why I say no one really knows what they're doing. So you could have the worst video. Dude, I've had videos of me sitting in my truck at 10 p.m. lip syncing this video, and you can't even hardly see me, and it goes viral.
They're trying to see you. That's what's going on.
Right. So they're staying on there longer so you can see it. But luckily with that Hold Your Peace one, the song was already out, and I was trying to find ways to make it go viral, and then it luckily did. But that's how it always goes, man. Like, Can We Skip This I was at a dude's wedding. One of my buddies, I was a groomsman, so I was all dressed up to the nines. I took my jacket off, and him and his dad, they love my music, and they were like, "You got to play the new song." And can I tell you something? Let me tell you why. So there's people that can use your sound in their videos, and for whatever reason, this one girl looked like me.
Wait. What?
She didn't look like me, like with a beard. She just looked like me if I shaved.
Okay.
Like short hair, everything. And so she put on the bottom the new lesbian anthem. And so the whole time at the wedding, they're like, "We got to hear the lesbian anthem," because it wasn't
Oh
out
my
yet.
gosh.
And so I'm like, all right, fine. I met up with the DJ. I'm like, yo, you got to play this. Send it to him. Song wasn't out yet. The only thing that people knew was like the first line of the chorus, because that's all I would tease on social media. Luckily, it was already like working, and it was getting 50 to 100,000 every time I posted. And then that video happened, and then between Instagram and TikTok, it got like 3 million views in 2 days, just because of how natural it looked. So that's a video we always go back to, and we try to figure out what it is, and the only thing we can come up with is it's like a real scenario. Like, we're at a wedding, there's a group of people with me, and they're all singing that very first part of the chorus.
Yeah, it's cool.
And so, like that one, I didn't even want to film. My wife was like, "No, we're filming right now." I was like, "All right, cool."
Have you seen the? I can't even with this video. Have you seen the take the picture, Brad video, the fishing one?
I don't think so.
Oh my God, you guys, this is the dumbest shit in the world. I can't handle it. Like, if I watch it, I'll start to lose my shit.
Like you'll get angry? Or you'll
No,
laugh?
like I can't. It's so funny. So I think there's a bunch of pages, but one of them's comeonbrad_.daily. So there's these accounts that post the literal same piece of content every single day. And the difference between some will hit like 11,000 people, some will hit 3 million. It's the same thing. So like, it really comes down to consistency.
Yeah.
And is the video any good? So like, I'm gonna play this. Hopefully you guys can hear it. I can Bluetooth into this thing. I don't want to do that. I'll probably do something weird. I'll just play it loud enough so you guys can hear it. I'm like, but you just hear this guy say it, and I can't handle it. It's just
press D.
Jesus Christ. It's not working.
Come on, Brad.
Oh.
He's got a giant brown trout.
Yeah, but it smiles.
Brad, wait, man.
I got it.
Hey, what? The flies are eating me.
It's gone off again now. Let's see.
Pass on the phone, Brad.
All right, I got it now.
Fucking flies are eating me because I'm
Flies are eating me. Come on, Brad. So there's come on, Brad. But the whole point about like posting the same single thing every day. So there's an artist, Gold Ford. I don't know if you heard of him or not. He's got a few different songs. I found him on TikTok, kind of like people have found you. And he has this song. It's like Orange Blossoms in the Air right now. I don't know. It's called Orange Blossoms. There's actually another song called Orange Blossoms that's entirely different. I also like that one.
The Orange Blossom Special.
I don't know what the deal is with that, but the dude has the way he makes the videos. He's always like doing something really mundane but simple. Like he'll like blow out a candle, and the second that candle blows out is when he cuts to the thing, to him doing the song or whatever. And it's like that on his page. You go there, but now the dude's like a legit full-blown artist, and I'm certain it happened because of social media. It's fascinating to me. I think people that can do that, like the old Justin Biebers, of the world, the people that grew up on, they got famous because of YouTube, like when that emerged. People are getting famous because of TikTok when that emerged. I don't know what's coming down the pike next. It just is pretty neat. But are you like, how much are you incorporating hunting into your lyrics? Like, you got some bucks behind you. Are those stories making it into your songs?
Yeah, man. We not specifically any of the stories like of when I killed them, but we throw in a couple nuggets here and there about hunting. That's one thing that I've been thinking about with like my upcoming rights. I really need a hunting song. When you're like independent artist trying to make it, you got to find the right crowd first. So that's really what it comes down to with posting all these videos all the time, is I'm trying to find the specific crowd that loves the type of music that I'm releasing. That's why it's important to be consistent with the music that you are releasing. So when you find that crowd, more than likely, most of them are going to like hunting. And that way, when you release that song, it doesn't tank.
Yeah.
Right? So, I would love to do that. I've written a few on my own that include stories like that, but I haven't released them yet. So maybe you guys are convincing me right now.
We got a hunting playlist. I'm sure a lot of people do. There's a ton of them on Spotify because you can make a playlist. So we have one.
Yeah, every dude driving to the woods at 4:30 in the morning, and he's like tired and and drinking coffee, he's gonna listen to that hunting song to wake him up.
You need the Nuge.
Yeah, I mean, like that. The Nuge is probably one of the most iconic hunting songs ever. I don't know. There's a lot of songs that like will get lumped into I listen to this when I hunt, and they may or may not even be about hunting. I think that is it Luke Bryan that does a hunt and fish and love it every?
Yep,
that one has got to be up there, right?
There's another Luke Bryan song me and my brother always listen to. Well, we used to anyway. It's called Muckalee Creek Water.
That's a big one. Yeah. That
one fires me up for some reason. Anytime I'm about to go do some redneck stuff.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if hunting, fishing, or if we're going mudding or something, I'm listening to that. to that
Yeah.
on the way.
I feel like that's a really hard thing to write an entire song about, though, like a hunting song.
I think there's some that can
such
you can just weave it in.
And
Yeah.
it's better. You're better off weaving it in, like Troy mentioned, I think, than
Yeah.
doing a whole 3.5 minute bit about it is tough. And how many people are you going to actually get with that?
Well, there's
right?
another one. What's that dog one? Like
Old Red.
Old Red Hunt Dog.
Blake Shelton.
Yep.
That's a good
Yep.
one.
Weaving it in is the easiest way to do it. If you have a really solid idea, you can make a whole song about it, but it would have to be sentimental almost. So it'd be like a slowed down song. It wouldn't be like a rock thing.
It would almost have to weave in other normal shit, right? Like the opposite of what you normally do, like write a song about normal shit, weave in hunting. You'd have to like write a hunting song, but weave in other stuff to grab other people, so that it's not just excluding everyone who doesn't hunt.
Right. So it would have to be like, I've thought about this before, and somebody's going to steal my idea, but that's okay. I'm not going to say what the title is, but it's like, everybody learns how to hunt from, somebody above them, like their dad or their uncle or whoever. It would have to be sentimental in the way where you're tying in everything you've learned to your dad.
You got it.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You can make a rock banger about hunting. It's just who's going to listen to it besides the hunters, and that's it. And that's
or your
great.
core audience. Like once you have a big enough audience, you might gain some of that permission where they'll like entertain the fact that you did that song, but it might not be like the one that everyone loves.
And that's what I'm working towards is getting a big enough audience where they don't care what song is out; they're just going to listen to it anyway.
Yeah.
But,
so, I mean, speaking of hunting, so you're not from Tennessee, but you're there now.
Yep.
So where did you grow up hunting, and like when did you move to Tennessee? So let's talk a little bit about hunting where you are from versus hunting where you're at.
So I grew up in Hebron, Maryland, which population is like 1,099 last time I looked, and I guess it's because I left. But I guess it was 1,100. But so I grew up in Hebron, Maryland, but we always drove to Snow Hill to hunt. There's a couple different areas we hunted, but Dad would, let us hunt on private land with him. He'd pay to let us go, and then we'd hunt with Dad. And that was just so we could get the bug. So thanks, Dad, if you're watching, because I definitely got the bug now. But so we killed a few deer on the private land, and basically the moment that it changed was Dad. So the public land, the private land we were hunting butted up to public land, so you can access both very easily. And he found this little spot back there. The way it worked was we were like, I don't know, 2 to 3 miles back into the woods. That's where the camp was. But where we hunted bordered that state property. So, but if you walked in naturally from the road, it was like 2 miles back where we were at. So we accessed that back piece, but no one ever hunted back there because it's such a long walk. Most guys don't put in the effort to do that. But my dad's a different type of beast. So we went back there, and basically how it went was it was youth day, and he had already scouted this stuff out without me. So he's like, I got this spot we should go to. We're going to hunt in the morning on the private land. If we don't see anything, we don't kill anything, we're going to go to the public land, and we're going to find a spot, and we're going to sit there. And I was like, all right. So come 10 a.m., we hadn't seen a deer. He's like, let's get down, let's go walk. I'm like, all right, cool. So we go back in the woods onto the public land. And basically what had happened, he like I said, he already knew where he was at. I had no idea. And he didn't let me know he knew where he was at either. He's like, yeah, this looks like a good spot. so it's this blown. What's that?
Classic dad trick.
Yeah, exactly. He makes me think he's a genius. Which he is when it comes to hunting. But there's this blown over tree. And it was fresh blown over. Like there had just been a storm, blew this thing over, and like the roots were up like this. And so it gave this great cover. All the soil was still on the roots. Gave great cover in front of me. So he's like, sit on this spot of the log. I'm going to sit right behind you. and we're gonna see what happens. So he brings out his antlers and his grunt call, and I had only ever seen this on TV. You know, I'm 15, so I'm sitting there like, this is not gonna work because this is like a televised thing that only happens on TV. I know it's not gonna work, and so he rattles the antlers together, and that was it. Literally that long, 5 seconds maybe, and he taps me, and that's what he always taps my legs real hard. And he's like, I got a deer. It's a buck. And I was like, no, it's not. And we're whispering the whole time. No, I don't see no damn deer. And he does it all the time where he, like, if I'm dozing off or I'm like zoned out in the distance, he'd tap my legs. He's like, got deer. And there's no deer. He just wanted to get me excited. So fast forward, there's a damn deer, and it's huge. And so he told me to get the gun up. I still haven't seen the deer at this point. He's like, get the gun up, point it over here. So I pointed over, and I'm looking above the scope. I still can't see him because he's behind all this shrub. He finally walks out a little bit, and that deer ended up charging straight towards us.
Oh my God.
And he stopped right in front. I'm talking 10 yards in front of that cover where the roots are. And so I had to lift up a little bit. And then all I saw on the scope was brown. So you're talking a 15-year-old
Right there.
dude with adrenaline running. If he sees brown on the scope, it's over. You know what I'm saying? I shot immediately. I didn't know where I shot on the body, but I knew I nailed him because you can't miss. So I nailed him. He ran off. And up until this point, that was the biggest buck I'd ever seen in my life. So dad was all excited for a minute, and I was too. I'm like, yeah, we got him. He's like, well, let's give it a minute and let's go find him. So gave it a minute, walked up, we found him. You know, basically the story is I kind of blacked out a little bit, but I do remember this part. I do remember this. Dad went out, I don't know, probably 5 yards, 7 yards in front of that brush. And he's like, I don't see any blood. And I knew he was serious because I could tell when he's being serious. I'm like, Dad, I only saw brown in the scope. There's no way I missed him. There's no way that there won't be any blood. I was like, he's like, was I right here? Or was the deer standing right here? I'm like, back up a little bit. So he backed up, found the blood. And then long story short, that's the guy right there.
Hell yeah. Look at that.
The one we found him. Yeah, and since then, so we killed that deer. We killed another deer, which is bigger than him. And he's still at my parents' house. I got to transport him out here. But we got the full mount, the full head mount on that one. He's the biggest deer I think that we've ever killed from that same exact tree that's blown over. And then we went the next year after that, and we killed this guy right here.
The funky one.
That
Funky.
thing's cool.
Funky on this side,
Yeah.
and then normal on this side.
I love those funky ones, man. Those are all
So-
great bucks. Congrats. That's a cool story with your
Yeah,
dad.
man. But this kicker is what got me, man. That's cool as shit. But yeah, so from that log came 3 giant bucks, and I killed all 3 of them, and I'm proud to say it. But I got to give all the credit to my dad because he found the spot. So we still go there every year, at least once, and sit because it's so far back the deer don't get bothered. So once if you go there at the perfect time, which in Maryland is around Youth Day, the bucks are ready to go. So they're ready to fight. But
What time of the year is your youth season open?
Youth Day is it's a week or 2 before rifle season starts. So it's usually around like November 15th, I want to say.
Oh
Like
yeah,
peak rut.
that'll do.
Oh yeah, it's peak, and we're so far back. You know, there's been no gunshots yet, so they haven't gone nocturnal. It's all bow hunting, except for the youth. The youth can bring their guns in. So, yeah, we've had a lot of great success there, and those are memories that I will never forget. Besides the part where I black out a little bit, but
Literally don't remember those parts, but everything else.
how long did your dad keep the cat in the bag that he had scouted that spot beforehand, or did he let you think for a while that you just randomly stumbled into that spot?
No, well, he told me that he had scouted that area.
Okay.
He didn't tell me that he knew the exact spot we were going to be sitting because he saw all these scrapes and rubs all around that tree. So, they're probably, the scrapes and rubs were 20 to 40 yards around it. And so we just sat right in the middle of that thing.
Good spot to rattle, I'd say.
Yeah. And so he didn't tell me until after we'd already shot the deer.
Did you
And
think your dad
so
was like some sort of god when he rattled the buck in and 5 seconds later a buck shows up? You're like, no way.
Dude, I'm telling you, it was the wildest thing. And then the
That's
next
not how
buck,
it normally goes. It's not usual.
yeah. And like I'm telling you, it was 5 seconds of the rattle and one grunt. And then the following time we went there, when I killed the massive one, it was quicker than that. Not just from memory, like you're like whatever, it could have been quicker. No, I'm telling you, it was one, and the deer just popped his head up, and I was like, "What the fuck? This is crazy." Excuse my language. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss.
You're allowed to.
Let
So
it
like that's like, I mean, Derek, being who you are and like being a psycho when it comes to deer hunting,
Thank you.
like how much are you guys paying attention to like your entry and the wind and like the assumptions you have of where these deer are bedded down in that area?
Well, the wind is everything for us. We pay attention to the wind like crazy. So we've got a few spots on that state piece now that we like to go to, and if the wind's wrong, we won't even go. Like we'll just find we've got a couple of like backup spots where if the wind is the opposite of what it's supposed to be, we'll go there. But I don't know about you guys, but I've found if the wind is wrong, you got to pray for a miracle to see a deer.
Yeah,
But
you're not gonna probably see much anything if it's just blowing
right,
right.
I mean, you'll see a couple squirrels, but I
You
guess
got
you
the area figured out though. Like you, not only do you know that there's deer there at a certain time of year, how they're using the property because of other pressure, and then in addition to that, like you're entering it when you know you can get away with it. It's all good stuff.
right.
That's
Yeah.
one of the biggest tricks to it, to being a successful, consistent deer hunter, not just for bucks, but just in general, is like people can go out and find deer sign. It's not hard to find a good place where deer are spending time. But finding a place that you can hunt on a wind that's not going to bust you is a little bit more challenging. And the more you know, almost the harder it gets.
Sure.
You learn about all the little things that work for you and that work against you, right?
Mhm.
Well, that's what I've learned, man.
Spot there.
That's what I've learned is first of all, I look at my dad as if like he's this guru when it comes to knowledge of buck hunting or just deer hunting in general, because we hunt to fill the freezer. We don't hunt to kill big bucks. If we need deer meat, we're shooting anything that walks out except for babies, obviously. But it's fill the freezer first and then go get your buck. But when it comes time to go get that buck, it's bunkered down. And if the wind's wrong, if what, most of the time we found out that the morning that if you hunt for a week straight, like Dad takes off for a week, and when I was a kid, obviously I had off all the time, so we would go for a week straight. In the morning that we feel like we don't want to go, like the morning we wake up and we're like laying in bed, and we're like, damn, my alarm's going off, and it's just we're like, damn, I don't want to get up. That's the day that we kill the buck.
Always.
My brother killed a huge 10-pointer on that same property.
So now you're like, we're getting up.
Yeah, and it was
Now
like it was like 4 years in a row where we didn't want to get up, and that day is the day that we killed it.
It's always some weird little thing like that. I was just visiting with my good buddy Adam this past weekend, and he got a mount from one of his bucks that we took down in Illinois back. He's like, dude, come over to the house. We'll have a couple of drinks, show you the new mount. I was like, sweet.
Perfect.
So he's got a great little man cave going, and this guy's only been bow hunting for like 7 or 8 years, and he's already got some beautiful deer under his belt. He's an incredible killer. And we were just talking about each of his bucks that he's got mounted, his big ones. And in each story, and I noticed this throughout my career too, each story that he had for the big ones was always something weird happening. like you just mentioned, not wanting to get up. He like was going to check a trail cam and then like saw a big track and was like, oh man, like that's fresh. I need to hunt it now. And like each story had some weird little thing where it was never like the plan. Like
Right.
I was, oh yeah, you know, I scouted the spot, planned it, picked the tree,
Yeah,
boom,
dude,
it
that's,
worked. It's always some weird little thing that is.
I think it's the
ticket.
untold adventure. It's the unknown. Like how many times we heard people say it was the first sit
First time
in that area on that
Wandered
property.
in, picked a random tree.
Yeah. All that stuff. I was on a different podcast. I don't know when it'll air recently, and I'd use this analogy of, it's not an analogy. It's like the movies I've found that I've enjoyed the most, I didn't even know they existed when I went to watch them. I'd never seen a preview. I'd never even heard of it. And those movies were 40-Year-Old Virgin. Never even heard of it, went, saw it, laughed my ass off. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Didn't even know it was a thing. Saw it, dead. Wedding Crashers, another one.
Yeah.
Like these movies that I was like, what is it? What is it even about? And I don't even know. No, we're just going to go because some people are going, okay. Like best movies of my life, impressionable. Best hunts ever have been first sit. Like it's just weird.
Yeah. Yeah. But sometimes it is random. Like, I mean, first of all, if you're trying to kill deer consistently, if you don't have sign around you, like trails or scrapes or anything, you're screwed. You know what I mean? You might see a couple deer, but there's no way, if you don't have any kind of active sign, you're not going to
Let
find
me
anything.
flip that on its head. What if it's the area they just haven't gotten to yet, and now
Exactly.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
the dumb things I'll wonder.
No,
I'll
dude.
overthink every situation. I'm like, there's no sign here. Maybe all the other spots are a little too tired. They got to come rustle this stuff up. It looks too good to not have sign yet.
Dude, I'll tell you this about that story I just told. We saw sign walking into the woods where we were gonna go. When I got to that tree, like within probably 100 yards, I didn't see anything. And so I just sat there. I was like, I knew I wasn't gonna kill a deer. Dad's just trying to have fun or something. Whatever, see what happens. And sure enough,
he's got something to say about this.
There's a million things, but like, okay, how many times have you had it where exactly what you just said?
No sign on
You've
this
had
one.
a trail cam set up somewhere,
Yeah.
right? And you think it's going to be hot. You go check it. There's no sign. The scrape has leaves in it. You're like, oh, they're not using it. You pull your trail camera down. A couple of weeks later, you wander through and there's freaking rubs and scrapes right where your camera was because they hadn't maybe got there yet. I got a good buddy, Lane, who lives up in Suring where I used to teach. And they got a really nice piece of private ground. And don't get me wrong, this spot's a good spot no matter what. But they have this little clearing right at the base of a big hardwood ridge, and he's got swamp all around it. They make a little food plot there. And there's a huge overhanging tree that every year the bucks make a giant scrape on the edge. His best hunting, he shot like 7 of his last 8 bucks from that clearing stand on that scrape before it was ever opened. His theory is it usually opens like the 22nd to 25th of October. So he just hunts it like the 15th, 16th, 17th. For the first time, it's usually a mature buck that opens it. So he's like, well, I'm just going to hunt there, until he comes. And then he's like shot 7 bucks in a row off of that stand, doing that theory of like, it's not good yet. It's not good yet. Oh, it's good today.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting thing that there was no sign for that deer. I was just going off some random hunches and like the best I could come up with. Same for this one. And it turns out there was a bunch of sign. I hadn't gotten to that point yet.
When you were scouting.
I just hadn't been made privy to it. But the other part is, I don't know how many times people I know anybody listening who hunts deer has had this mentality because I've had it and there's no way I'm the only one. Like, that's just not how it works. And it's like, you see the sign and you're like, ooh, this is good. This is fresh. This is it. And then you get your expectations go way through the roof. You're like, I'm going to see it. Frick, this is the hunt. This is the hunt. Like, you're dropping the mic on yourself. You're so ecstatic. And then fucking nothing happens. And you're like, wow, the deer never showed up. Like, how is that even possible? I had this in the bank. The wind was in my favor. They're going to go through land through this, bottleneck. It's all funneled. It's all, and then nothing. And then you have these other sits where it's like, you don't see half of that shit and stuff just comes together. Like, I didn't even know he had a script, but he read it. It's like,
dude, I'll tell you what, there's been many times that I've hunted here in Tennessee. I still hunt public land. I think I'll I think because of the story I just shared and the what 5 bucks we've killed off of that public land, and my dad's killed a couple. We've probably killed 7 or 8 wall mounters from that public land. I will always hunt public land no matter what state, and I would love to get into hunting like different states because of that. And I'm just always going to be appreciative of that, and just because of those memories, I'm always going to hunt the public land.
So
Of course,
yeah. So
if I get my own private land, I'm going to hunt that, of course.
Oh.
But you
Yeah,
know,
what's
it's
it been
like
like in Tennessee now? Like, it's
Yeah,
a
what does that
very
look like
populated area. Have you had any success there yet? And success is relative, man. You don't. Maybe you haven't killed one, but like, if you've gotten eyes on some opportunities or
yeah, man. Well, I tell you this, hunting in like the Nashville area sucks. It fucking sucks. Like I love being in the woods and I love taking the time to hunt. And it really does like reset me for literally for the whole year. And like, you know, when bow season comes around, everybody's itching. But really, I'm itching to see deer, but I'm really itching to have that alone time. Because that is what really resets me.
I love it.
Yeah, it makes me alive and fresh and motivated for the rest of the year. But you know, like even now, I look at it and I'm like, there's only a couple more months till bow season starts. I'm ready. But anywho, hunting in Tennessee is, man, it's so overcrowded. If you don't have your own land out here, then it's really, really hard to kill something that is, you know, other than just stocking your freezer. Like to the story you just told about, like I know it's gonna happen. I've had that so many times out here, and like just knowing that I'm gonna kill a deer in general, I know it's gonna happen, and then I don't see anything. Like I see one baby, and I'm like, well, where's your mother? You know, like that type
Yeah,
of stuff.
yeah, no doubt. It's like, come on, what's going
But
on here?
I have
That'll
had
really get you self-doubting hunting. Like that's the kind of humbling that the woods will do to you. It's like
yeah,
just knocks you down about 10 pegs.
yep,
Like I
yep.
thought I knew what I was doing.
Doesn't take
And
much for that to
there
happen.
was so when I first moved here, I hunted a piece in Gallatin, which is where I live now. We did live in Hendersonville, which is the next city over, but I found this piece
Oh,
in
my aunt lives in
Gallatin.
Hendersonville. We were just there. So
Oh,
that's cool.
nice. Yeah. Well, I'm right next to there. But yeah, I hunted this. It was this little tiny piece. Like the state property technically was like how many thousands of acres, but it was like, you know, in between roads, and most of it wasn't even really huntable. This one small piece I found had sign everywhere, and I knew it couldn't be the only one that found this. And it was right next to one of my buddy's houses that he lived at the time. So I used to go in there and hunt, and I killed a couple, you know, small bucks just to fill the freezer. I'm talking like 3 to 5 point bucks, and I saw a few bucks that were just like 1 to 2 years short of being massive. So that place was really promising, and I missed on archery hunt with this one. I saw, so it was in the middle of the rut, and I'm in my normal spot, and this doe walked out, and I was like contemplating whether to shoot her or not, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. So I get full draw on this doe, and I'm telling you, I'm about to squeeze the trigger, and all of a sudden I hear because before that she was looking back the whole time. But my adrenaline was pumping so hard, I wasn't even thinking, what is she looking back at? You know? And so I'm full draw on this doe. She's looking back, but she stopped and really looked back and just waited. And so I was like, well, I might as well wait. And then I hear the crash. And I look over, and this 8-point, giant 8-point, he jumped over the brush and landed and was only focused on that doe. And I was like, oh my God.
This is the best day of my life.
And so, yeah, I'm already full
Just
draw.
witnessing this.
You're
like,
already picturing the mount above your fireplace.
Oh,
You're like,
dude.
yes.
I'm thinking about
went
all
from
of
an 8 to a 10. Noon.
So, yeah, I'm already thinking about how he's going to be on the wall. Anywho, what I didn't think about was I've already been full draw for 20, 30 seconds. And so I moved over to where he was. And as soon as I did that, actually, no, it wasn't that. It was, I moved over, had him in, and then my arm gave out. And so I was like, no, no, no. As soon as my arm gave out, he's locked in on me like this. But he's 50 yards away, but he's on me. And I'm like, shit. So I muster up the strength to pull the bow back as slow as possible. And if you've ever done that, you know, like every time you're shooting at a target, it's just, whoop, you know what I mean? You're pulling back and then you're sitting there for 10 seconds and you're firing. I've never practiced a really, really slow draw. And I didn't realize how much that took out of you. And so I get it back full draw, and I probably waited 3 seconds, got it on him, shot, and he ducked under it.
He already was in the alert. He already knew something's over there.
That's tough.
Yep. That one was that's the one that will always get away. But
we posted a video this morning of a dude running to catch this train, like breaking the glass and dropping in. I forget what movie it was from. It was with doesn't matter. The actors are. I never remember when I need to recall what it is I'm saying in the moment because the record button is on. Like it's not going to happen. Nonetheless, it was like you have to catch this train, and if you do, you can go hunt the buck you missed.
Chance,
yeah, and I was like, I mean, I'm running pretty hard too. I'd probably get it.
If I could get that one back, I mean, he was an immediate wall hanger, even though he was an 8, but he was such a big 8, man. I'll never forget it. And that same year, this is literally 2 weeks later, I went to hunt. It was opening day rifle. I get in my stand, and when I get in the stand, I'm getting in 20 minutes before you can even see the sun peak up because I want to be the first. It's so overpopulated here. You got to be the first in the woods and claim your spot. And so I'm in the stand. It's pitch black dark. Can't see a thing. And then when the sun starts peeking up, I'm looking at this thing in front of me. I'm like, what is that? And it's at the point of like, there's not enough light where you can tell what it is. It could be just a bush. And finally it gets to the point where I can see, and it's a blind. I'm like, no, this blind is literally 30 yards in front of me.
That's the worst.
Shit.
Wow.
And so all of a sudden I'm thinking, first thing I'm thinking is there's no one in that blind because I walked up here. They would have said something.
They're not here yet. Yeah, they will be.
They're not here yet. And we're already, at this point, we're 30 minutes into daylight. I'm like, oh, these guys are late. They ain't showing up. And if they do, I'm going to be pissed. And so these 2 guys my age come strolling through the woods on the phone, talking as loud as they can possibly talk. And they get to my tree, and I'm like,
hello.
And so they come walking up, and they're like, hey, we just called, and they said that this land is shut down. And I'm like, what?
What does that even mean?
Yeah, so the state didn't put up any signs on that property, and they shut down the land. So that all of that state property in Gallatin, no more. So I hunted there for the rest of that morning because I didn't know if they were telling the truth or not. And that was my last hunt there. As soon as I got in the truck, I called, and they're like, yeah, that piece of property shut down. That the state's going to work on it. So now they've got a bunch of houses there, which sucks. So I lost my 8-pointer forever.
No.
That sucks.
Which
So
he would have been. I know he would have. He was only like 4.5 years old when I missed him. That next year, I knew he would have been huge if I got the opportunity. But so I was forced to find new land, which luckily there's pockets of state property. So now I hunt right off of Percy Priest. I know the
secret out loud on a podcast.
What's that?
You might want to. We'll redact that.
Get prepared.
Oh, no. Well, here's the good news. I'll tell you the good news. Percy Priest covers like, I don't know. I don't even know how many acres, but the lake itself goes from Nashville all the way down to Smyrna, which is about 30 miles long.
Okay, so you're safe.
So yeah, you have no idea where I'm at.
Nicolay National Forest.
Yeah,
that's
pretty safe.
All right.
You've got, but the problem is the lake. The pockets of land are very small, but you'll have no idea where I'm at. But
Your
the
country
Seek
music will
one,
get so big, like you'll get invited out to properties. You know,
yeah, right.
hey, we need you to come out and
You'll be hunting at Luke's place and
right.
Aldi's
There you
place,
go.
you know.
I hope so, man.
Gilbert's yeah, you'll be out there.
I hope that opportunity comes along one day, man. That's part of why I'm doing the music things,
Hell yeah.
so I can kill a buck.
One of my good buddies, Bo Bilo, his uncle was like the hunter of the family, and he's who tied everybody in. He was a chiropractor by trade, and at one point, Bo said he was working on like 100 different people, but didn't make any money because he was just doing it for hunting rights to their property. So he had access to like 30,000 acres because he'd just be like, "Yeah, I'll adjust you for free if you give me hunting
You've been
rights."
baling hay all summer long. I can do some adjustments. You just gotta let me hunt your
I was like,
property.
Dude,
That's
I
smart.
look at it this way: if I'm gonna do the music business and I'm gonna spend a shit ton of money on recording songs, if in the end it gets me a few wall hangers, all I did was pay for private property for 20 years or whatever it is.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's the same thing.
It's like investing.
Yeah,
Slow,
If
exactly.
slow
Jason
growth.
Aldean calls me up and he's like, "Come to the Buck Commander property," and I kill the biggest buck of my life, that's a win for me, brother. I'm gonna remember that forever.
Exactly.
I wonder if we'll ever get invited anywhere.
And then that's the thing.
You didn't invite us.
Yeah, well, that's incredible.
I'm sorry you didn't get to come. I really wish you did.
Well, you know you've heard of Seek One.
Yeah, those guys
Yeah.
they do
Those guys,
right.
those guys obviously don't disclose their location, but they hunt off of Percy Priest as well. And so when I was forced to find that new area, there's a couple things I want to talk about. One, I want to talk about this buck right here. And then after that, I want to get into if you have any crazy people that don't like hunting that you've ever come into contact with. But so this buck here, I found this new property. It's the first year I've hunted it after my state property that I used to hunt got shut down. So I went in that day, and this new spot, I don't know if it has to be partially from the things that my dad's taught me and how I know, where to be at the right time. But also part of it's luck of the draw and hitting the rut at the right time. But I was seeing at one point in the beginning of the season, I'd see 11 deer per night. And this is a tiny piece of property. I'm talking like when you walk in from the road and you get to Percy Priest Lake, it's probably 400 yards.
Oh, it's nothing. Yeah.
And you're hunting in between that. And it does go wide. Like you can pick what direction you want to go. But where I was at, there was no tape. There was no nothing. No sign of any human being there. But there was deer sign. So I sat up there and I'm seeing all these deer every night. I'm like, oh man, this is amazing. And then come rifle season, it really slowed down. And so there's a couple other trucks that pulled up that I knew were hunting in that same general area. Anywho, this specific night, I was sitting there and I'll never forget it. I had seen this baby walked in. And right before that baby walked in, I prayed. And I'm a spiritual guy. So every time I get in the woods, man, I pray because it's like I'm surrounded by nature. I just watch the world wake up. I'm already awake and I just watched it come up. It's the coolest thing in the world. And them city boys ain't never gonna understand it. But dude, when I'm sitting in the tree stand, it's the most peace I could ever get in my life. If I died there, I'd be happy. But I remember praying. It was like 3 hours into the hunt. I'm like, man, I haven't seen anything. I'm like, Lord, just show me something. Just show me any kind of life. Push these deer my way. I just want to see them. And then if you give me the opportunity to take a shot, I would love to. And so,
give me the like the mile.
Yeah, right. If you give me the opportunity, and I'm cool with just seeing the deer. That's what I'm praying for.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see. I want to see it. It makes me want to come back. The worst thing for a man hunting is if you don't see anything. Like it kills the spot where you thought everything was going to happen. Anywho, this baby walks in. And I'm like, wow, that's cool. That was really quick. It was like 10 minutes after I prayed. I was
Very
like, that's cool.
responsive.
I'm like, that's cool.
I think
Thank
you
you,
got a
Lord.
song happening here. I think like God showing you a sign is really in the way of deer. Like God showed me a deer.
Well, I
turns
look
out he's
at it as I like to think of it in my head that God can just do that, and then the deer just walk right in front of you. So I was like, oh, cool. Thank you, Lord. And it was a baby, so obviously I'm not going to shoot. And she sat there for a while and walked all around, and she must have been in heat for the first time. And so I didn't know that. Anywho, she walked off towards the road. And so I was like, well, that was cool. Guess I can't pray again to see another one. So I'll just wait and see what happens. And next thing I know, she's walking right back towards me. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So I'm just watching her. And all of a sudden I'm hearing something off in the distance, but I can't tell if it's a deer or whatever. And then she starts running straight towards my tree. And I was like, oh no. And then he walks in. And he was following her so hard, man. He didn't care about anything. I'm talking like I got up in a self-climber, stood up immediately as soon as I saw him, moved around. I even think my boot was wet and it like squeaked. And he didn't care. He didn't care about nothing.
Sometimes
so I turned around.
That's the best.
Yeah, and it was rifle season. So it was like, okay, I'm just going to whip this gun around. As soon as I couldn't see him anymore, because my back was to the tree and I'm looking back this way. And I can see him when I go like this. As soon as he got behind my tree, I just turned around like this and waited for him to pop out. And man, he didn't care. He was eyes on that baby doe. Shot him. He ran off. I heard him drop. And then 2 minutes later, 2 small bucks come charging in. Obviously, you can't shoot them, right? Because I've already killed that buck. But he, both of those tiny bucks were sniffing the same exact little tiny baby tree that she was standing next to when I shot that buck. And so I'm like, man, she must be in heat. And, long story, but kind of wrap it up. I took that deer to the butcher the next morning. And I was like, cut off his head so I can get him Euromana. That's my first Tennessee buck, so I want to remember that. And he was like, all right. He goes, where did you kill this? And there was another dude there, too, that had a monster buck. And he's hunting some private land somewhere an hour and a half away. And they were like, where'd you shoot this? And I said, off of Percy Priest. And they were like, Percy Priest? I'm like, yeah. They said, we haven't seen a buck this big come in from Percy Priest in the last 10 years.
Really? That's
right.
Wow.
I'm like, no way. So part of it is like,
you guys are just chinking my chain. Like, come on, really? That's
yeah.
awesome,
Well, no, they went into detail after that, and it was crazy because I had just prayed about it, and then also part of it is like the skill of things that I've learned from my father and anybody else I've hunted with.
Yeah, putting into practice.
To put you in the right spot, but most of it, man, is just the luck of the rut. No one knows where that buck came from, but he was at the right spot at the right time. He definitely didn't live there because I'd never seen him before. That wasn't his home base. But that's why I'll never stop
because
hunting.
of the unpredictability of it. Some people, like I think a lot of the guys that are really good at deer hunting don't like the rut because they lose their superpower of patterning. I love it because I love the chaos of it. I love that any 2 minutes could go by and it could just totally change for no reason. And I've watched deer circle me. I've seen a buck look at me, and he's like, "I see you, but she's in the heat. I'm gonna keep going, okay?" And I was like, "All right."
Right. Well, that's the beauty of it, man. You never know what's going to happen. It's like if you're worried about your skill set and what deer you're going to kill, you're in it for the wrong reasons. Because if you don't want to hunt during the rut, why are you hunting?
Best time of the year. I mean, the weather's right. The colors are great. I mean, everything about it is like the best.
Gym shots.
It's pure chaos. You can go there one morning and see nothing. The next day,
You're walking in the woods, and it's like you're walking into magic.
Jim Shockey has the best quote that I think encompasses the rut of deer hunting, and it is, "Deer are where they are, they do what they do, and they move when they move." And that's the rut. You don't hunt morning or night. You just hunt. They're going to move when they go.
You just hunt, yeah.
There they are.
You just got to be in the woods. And that's anybody's luck of the draw. It's like everyone's kind of just out there gambling. You won the lottery? No, I won the lottery too.
I just won $5.
Oh, man.
I won a 10-pointer.
You guys got scratch-off tickets? Shit. What do you think I'm doing in the stand?
I shit my pants. Chili last night was spicy. Ooh. We're all gambling.
Yeah. No, I've not had any encounters with anti-hunters. I have not had I've had one. And it ended up, I converted into a positive experience. But the lady was pretty annoyed to see a guy in camouflage blowing a canoe up in a river with a bow and arrow. She's like, "You hunting right here?" I'm like, "Well, no, I'm going in the river to hunt way down there."
Yeah.
That's private property. I'm like, "No, where I'm going, it ain't. It's private property right here. This is an easement I can put in right here. And you're just going to go out there and maim animals?" I'm like, "Well, what? Like, not.
Yes.
I hope not. I hope that's not what happens. You're just going to go out there and drink beer in the tree stand?" I'm like, "What have you been told about hunters?" And so she told me, she unpacked it. And I was like, "Look, that ain't me. We have a show, a podcast. I have kids. There's ethics here." And I gave her the whole gamut. And she's like, "Well, thanks to you, I have a different perspective." I was like, "Well, that means a lot." I mean, we were both getting pretty heated for a second there. Someone puts you on your heels like that, it does something in your blood pressure, and you present a different version of yourself. You just do, because you're
easy to be defensive, right? It's easy to be defensive.
And it took a minute to get those barriers calmed down on both of our fronts. She was rattled out the gate. Just her tone of voice, you could hear the shakiness in it. She was shaking, trying to confront a hunter. She thought she was doing something bold.
She was doing something good, right?
Yeah, she did. She was sticking up for what she believed in. She thought I was going to go maim animals and drink beer. I'm like, "Look, I'm not going to maim an animal, not certainly on purpose, and I will drink beer, but not in the stand. It'll be in celebration when I actually get the animal."
And you know what, man? You know what? Our dads and granddads, they probably drank beer in the stand. So what?
Yeah,
I get the legality of it now. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? I go in the stand and I'll take my Zim pouches or tobacco or whatever, and I'll do that, and that'll be great. But man, who cares? Who cares? What I do in the tree stand's my business. You know what I mean? I'm in the middle of nowhere.
The tree stand's my business. Betsy,
yeah.
Your mouth.
If I want to sit there, if I want to go hunt, if I know I'm not going to see anything, it's already been 2 hours, and I want to scroll on TikTok for the rest of the day, I'm going to do that.
You got to have a good snack game like that. That's what'll really keep you going. Snack activity. That is the activity when you're hunting. There's an activity within the activity, and it's called snacking.
I still haven't learned.
Still
haven't learned that. There was one time this past year where I actually took a snack, and that was the first time I'd ever taken a snack into the woods.
I don't think Derek snacks.
I'm not
You're
much.
Very serious.
I'll bring a sandwich if I'm going an all day sit. I'll bring a sandwich and I'll bring 2 candy bars. My dad will only bring little candy bars. That's all my dad will bring. He'll bring 4 little candy bars and a mountain.
I can't even remember. I don't even remember what I took. It was some Cheetos or something. I don't know what it was, but
I'll make a venison summer sausage sandwich with mustard. I'll bring that.
Oh, that sounds good.
Dude, I can't tell you how many times I've been in the stand.
Then it's just a countdown. You're like, I know it's in there. I know I can have it whenever I want. And you're like,
I'm too serious when it comes to hunting.
I'm just.
I'm looking and I'm like, holy shit, noon.
I can't tell you how many times I've been in the stand and I have not had a snack, and I wish I did. And it's painful because when you're out in public, you're on the, you got your self climber, so you're spending a lot of energy to get up and down that tree. It is painful, man. And then you got to walk all the way out, and then you're like, damn, I'm gonna hurt somebody if I don't get food.
As I'm eating a lot of fucking food in the stand.
As soon as you start thinking about food, it's game over.
That's what I started doing because I packed it. It's already there. It's like Inception. It's happened.
So you're just there's some sort of internal timer that you're telling yourself you have to wait. I don't wait.
And I'm like, what am I waiting for?
See, you're not even hunting. You're just thinking
about food.
Counting down a snack.
Yeah, but if I have a bunch of them, I can kind of start to say, I'm like, okay, well, I just had one. Now I can wait a while. So I got to figure out, I got to prioritize. Which one am I going to have first? So I still have another one to look forward to. So I actually will bring food that's ranked
Yeah, Max.
How satiated am I going to be after I eat
feels
this?
like a 9 a.m.
I
snack.
want to be hungry a little later. I don't want to actually fill up because I want to enjoy the morsels here.
Are you packing them in a specific order?
Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah. Wow.
bottom of the pack to all the way top. Apples are a great treat to bring into the woods.
People have told me carrots are not a good treat. They're fantastic fucking treats. Carrots do not bruise. They do not smash. Screw you.
That was pretty funny.
Keegan.
I think the most practical thing to bring.
Commenting, they said, "Bro, you brought barbecue Fritos and chewed too loud." In the comments.
What's the name of that comment?
It's someone. I think it's you.
Tyler Grove. That's my brother.
Oh, it's your brother.
I knew it. As soon as I heard barbecue Fritos and chewed too loud, I knew it was my brother.
I mean, I don't snack, guys. Your brother's like, bullshit. You snacked? It was barbecue Fritos, and you ate that shit the whole time.
That ain't a fun size bag. That's a family size, son.
I shouldn't have even given him. I shouldn't have even given him the satisfaction of shouting his name out. Fuck you, Tyler.
He's been calling you Roy this whole time. I'm like, man, I think someone's got your name wrong. Did we get it wrong? I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure it's Troy.
So the funny story about that, we have a third brother that's not a brother.
Okay.
See, there it is, Roy Grove. We named him Roy Grove, but his real name is Will Calpino. But shout out Will, I guess. Whatever, dude. There he is. All right, yeah, them boys are in here. My God, there he is. Roy Grove's in the house. So yeah, he's our third brother from a different mother, I guess. But anywho, he doesn't hunt, but he needs to get into it. He says he's going to. Dude, Derek, have you had any crazy non-hunter?
I feel like we're working up to. I'm sure you got a good one, so I'm not trying to. I really haven't had anything.
You've had some decent encounters. Like you're pretty cordial out there.
I'm pretty cordial out there. I try to make everything into a pot. I haven't really had anything while I've been hunting. Most of mine come from. I'm a teacher, and the people that I'm mostly around are quite wonderful, but they're quite liberal. Right. And hunting is not something that they're used to at all. So I think I've had a lot of conversations, but people haven't necessarily been aggressive toward me. But people have definitely been very.
You can hear their
skeptical.
Opinions in the back.
They've been
mind.
very skeptical.
Yeah.
So I've always been, at least in that front, they approach in a way where they're not aggressive and are willing to listen. And I'm willing to take time to explain and explain my point of view. And
sure.
I've never had anything that was confrontational or horrible or
it's nothing like
trying to give me death threats.
Do you see the bass boat videos of the guys fishing by the pier and someone's always freaking out, jumping into the water? I'm gonna call the cops. You're by my dock. It's like I'm in the water.
Yeah, I've never had that.
But I'm not seeing any of that yet. Yeah,
dude. Well, first of all, I am I'm not liberal, so I'm cool, man, when it comes to hunting. But this one chick must not have been. Anyway, I've got two stories actually. One real quick. I've had two encounters with anti-hunters. One was unconfrontational. One was we were at the same state property where I killed this big buck, and we walk in 1.5 miles, 2 miles, but we brought a deer cart, and just assuming if we killed something, we need that cart because it's a long walk
for sure.
So we left it in there. We covered it, with shrub and whatever, and we went to lunch. And we came back from lunch. We saw this guy walking out, and back where we were at, you need waterproof gear because there's some little puddles that are knee high, And this guy comes out with water lines on his gray sweatpants up to his thighs, and we were like, "Man, that's weird." We walked right past him on the way into the woods, and we just said, "What's up?" And he waved, kept on going. We get back to our spot.
He knew.
Our deer cart, the netting on the deer cart was all cut up.
Oh.
Yeah, he stole one of our stands, went back there and found it.
What?
Yeah, he stole. Well, he didn't steal it because he didn't walk out with it, but he threw it somewhere in the woods that we wouldn't find it. We looked for hours that night trying to find it, couldn't find it. But so that was a fun one. Haven't seen him since, but we've been trying to find him. but that was like 5 years ago, so it's over now. But dude, out here, so that the piece of property that I hunt now, there is there's this lady that lives right across the street from it, and I've called the game warden on her like 4 times because she's actively always trying to obstruct a hunt, which is against the law, by the way.
Someone like this,
Hunter harassment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's straight up. So the first encounter I had with her, I parked at this spot, and right next to this spot there is a no parking sign. And so I risked it the first couple times, and I was like, all right, I'm good, because I didn't get towed or nothing. Nobody said anything. And I pull in this one day, this afternoon. I'd already hunted in the morning, and she's mowing her lawn when I get back. And I parked there, and she's on the lawnmower doing this. Looking right at me. And so I was like, oh, she must be saying I can't park here because the no parking sign. So I went and parked up the road, right off the street on some more state property, and walked down with my bow and with my self climber. So I'm walking with this damn thing, and it's not the lightest. Like, it's not the best self climber.
You gotta get to the saddle, buddy. You gotta be looking at some latitude gear or something after this.
I've thought about the saddle. I need to do that. But man, so I chugged. It was probably half a mile, and so I'm about to walk into the woods, and she stops her lawnmower again, and she's like, and I was like, "What's wrong?" And she goes, "Well, you're hunting." I said, "Yeah, I know." And so we get in this back and forth. I said, "I thought it was because I was parked here and there's a sign." She goes, "No, I don't care about that." She's like, I care about you killing deer that I see every day." Long story short, this lady offered to take me to the store and buy me any meat that I wanted, no matter the price. She'd buy it all.
You should take an number on it. Like, if I don't fill my tag, you buy me the meat. All right, we'll do this.
Oh no, it was because I looked into it a little bit, because I was like, oh, I can get her in the store and I can get like $200 worth of meat. But no, she was
That
like,
would pale in comparison to the cost of hunting.
she said, as long as you don't hunt today. And I was like, oh, hell no. She said, why won't you go to the store? I said, because you can't buy this meat at the store. I said, I want to fill my freezer with this. It's better than anything you can get at the store. And so, anywho, she said, if you go in that woods, I'm going to mess your hunt up. I said, good luck. And I went into the woods. And so she decided to run her lawnmower up and down the street
thinking she's really fucking it up
for 2 hours.
Deer don't care.
So I'm sitting there in the woods, and these deer, I got a couple deer walking by me, and they go out towards the road, and she's running her lawnmower back and forth. And what do those deer do? They come right back to me. I was like, screw you, bitch. And anywho, I didn't call the game warden that day, but I never physically talked to her again. I do know when I killed this deer, I let out a big, a couple of screams when I got out the woods, just so she knew that I killed something. Yeah, but I've called the game warden a couple times, because every time now, still to this day, when I hunt, when she comes up to that stop sign, it's like a corner, and you can only turn left. And my property is right there on the right, the state property. And when she hits that stop sign, she lays on her horn until she gets to her driveway. And so I've called the game warden like 4 times, and we've met up, and he's talked to her. She still won't stop. So if she's listening somehow, some way, she's probably not, because she hates hunters. But I'm gonna get her, dude. All I gotta do is get her on video, and then she's done. I'm like, I just don't understand it, man. We went through the whole, she called me a murderer and this and that. And she said, why don't you just hunt private land? I said, because I can't afford my own private land out here. Like, land out here is,
like, if that's what you're interested in, what difference does it make to you then?
Right. Land out here is so expensive. If I choose to hunt for free, it is what it is.
You just said I can hunt your property if you got a nuisance issue with these deer.
Yeah.
Right.
You got
She's-
private property?
I can hunt that.
She said, well, my brother has his own property. I said, well, okay, that's great. Does he hunt? She said, yes. And I said, so what are you talking to me for? Call your brother and mess with him. Like, don't mess my day up.
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah.
You like hunting your brother's property? Like, I'd have just been like flipping it on her the whole time.
I did. I asked her. She said no. I was like, all right, well,
Where
I'll
the
find
hell
it.
are you?
Yeah. Anywho, that was fun. My I thought about, when you got the deer, thought about just chopping the nuts off and leaving them on our property, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, fire with fire never works.
Be the bigger man.
Yeah,
Show her that
Yeah.
hunters are good, not bad.
Yep. Yep. I'm never going to do that. That's
Change your
that'd be
mind
messed
for the
up.
next person
It's
who
good to
parks
think
there.
through those things or like write it down, so then you get out of your system.
Oh, I love thinking about it because then I don't have to do it.
There's a song. Nuts on your mailbox.
Yep. That's right. Damn. What about you boys? I see a couple bucks hanging up there. What's the deal with those?
This is in my basement. So these are my bucks. If we were at Derek's house, he's got his own podcast on the network called Dropping Pins because Derek actually knows how to kill bucks. So his wall is littered with them, and he's got lots of stories to tell. I lucked my way into these 2 bucks, and I got enough skill, I think, that I've built up over time that I'm able to get it done sometimes.
You've been lucking into bucks a lot more lately than you did before.
Yeah, we'll just keep saying that. And no, I think I'm notorious for getting in the red zone, and I have a hard time getting into the end zone.
Hey, look, a buck's a buck, man. You put her down, it's over.
That last inch is hard. That last couple yards into the end zone where the field shrinks, it's like some reason everything matters. It's way more magnified. So
yeah, man, that's what she said.
Derek, though, he's if you get a chance, if you really want to hone in your skills, you listen to the Dropping Pids podcast. It's a good one because he's talking to these guys and gals and himself and like putting these stories out that are about those aha moments when it started to really click and jive for people, where it's like, well, I started to really piece it together when this happened. So let's hone in on that. Let's talk about that. Why is that important? And for us that are trying to learn, rather than learn the tactic or the thermos and all that, you'll all learn about that stuff, but those things are hard to apply. Like, if you learn about psychology or how to negotiate, there's tactics called mirroring, and it's like you can learn about it all day long. When you go to put it into practice, it feels pretty fucking weird to mirror someone. I don't know if you've ever done that. No one notices you're doing it, but you fucking know, and it's awkward. Like, but if you are hunting and you're like, oh, so the thermals are doing what the thermals do, but what do I do about that? Like, I don't know what to fucking do, So the wind, like you said, is like the holy grail. That's it for me. When I figured out how to like at least understand the wind in relation to where I thought deer would be coming and going from, like that changed everything. That's like the biggest swing right there to get you on the green or the putting green or whatever it's called. I'm not a golfer, but Derek's got all these great insights from these guys, and I think that's a great one for learning. Personally, I've listened to most of those episodes, and I get a lot out of them.
We'll be getting that back up and running. I've taken a hiatus over
It's summer. No one cares.
The spring here. Once summer hits, we'll start putting some in the recording. Lock it. That's when I've got some time to do it. So
that's right. You guys hunt private or state?
We're hunting public ground.
Yeah, we're public because we're too poor to have our own land. Also,
yes,
it's not even like a pride thing. It's just that I don't have the money thing.
Oh, same here, dude. If I had the money, I would.
I did both.
I grew up hunting public since I was 12, and I think you were the same. Nicolay National Forest. I've hunted private ground, I think 4 or 5 times. Every time I've hunted private ground, I could have killed a deer, and I killed my biggest deer off the first sit on a private property. So yeah, it's a different world. I love it. It's nice, but nothing beats figuring out a buck on public ground and doing it.
Yeah.
Nothing beats that feeling of
because
accomplishment.
you have to navigate around the hunting pressure is no joke. And whether you get into a spot that doesn't have any or not, like you still have to do a lot of work to get to that spot. And if you're trying to dance around other hunters on close proximity, like the property I was hunting, it's like, how the hell could you even get that done?
Yeah.
But I mean, like that has me feeling some level of pride because I was like, man, I was covered up in people and I still got it done.
And not even like finding the spot, setting up, making all of it count is awesome.
Yep.
But on public, the further you go or the, like the harder it is, the harder it is on the way out too. Like you can't just drive your 4-wheeler up to it and take it out. You're freaking earning that venison pound for pound the entire way, and that's a feeling that once you get back to
that thought sometimes I'm like,
that,
I'm not gonna go this far. Like, I'm gonna get a deer out of here.
You can't beat that feeling.
You call your buddies up, guys. I am in it. I don't even know how you're gonna get here, but
that's the thing, man. The longer, you know, like the piece of Maryland that we hunt, we walk in 2 miles and we shoot those big bucks. Guess what? We gotta drag them out 2 miles.
Yeah,
and it's
hard work.
It
don't
sucks.
Talk about the drag.
It sucks so bad, but like the memories that come from it.
Best work. It's the best work.
Yeah, it's like you're stocking your freezer. You know you got something to show off for the rest of your life, and you'll never forget it.
I wonder how many guys collapsed a lung or had a heart attack from dragging a deer.
I
want to know the stats.
I've almost had a couple, but I've also been dragging the deer out on a cart up in the Nicolay, just sweating my ass off, dying, and never felt prouder in my life than those moments, right? Like that's just like
this is it.
Yeah, until I had kids.
I take a lot of breaks.
Yeah, I've almost passed out a few times dragging a deer out, and it's not fun.
Yeah, it's always when you have a buddy, because it's like they'll, as much as they're helping you, they're also motivating when it's your turn.
Yeah.
And you're going further because they're helping you. So you're like, nah, I got it. And they're like, you sure? Nah, I'm fucking dying, but okay, yeah, you can take it. Like, I'm not that far. So you can help me.
I ran into 2 fellas. I was dragging a buck out years ago. Dragging a buck out middle of the day, probably like 1 or 2 p.m. I've got this buck on a cart, and I'm kind of just taking my time, enjoying it. And our old logging trails connect, and I see some other guys pulling a deer cart, and I was like, oh, I'll wait for those guys and kind of get, the motivation. I don't know them, but like, we'll see what they're doing. 2 super nice guys, a little bit older than me. They're dragging out like an 8-pointer and a 6-pointer. I'm like, holy crap, I got like a 10-pointer. We're like, oh, this 8, congrats. Everybody's super nice.
We're super Club 9.
We're talking about the stories like, oh yeah, my son shot this one. It's his first buck. We're like, holy shit, how cool. So we're dragging together, telling stories, and all of a sudden, coming over the hill, I can see 2 little orange blobs, blaze orange. They come running down, and I'm like, these with you? And he's like, yeah, those are the kids. We just sent them back to the truck to grab beer. They get back, they hand their dads beer, and they go, sorry, boys, we got a buddy. Head back to the truck, grab another one. Take off running. I mean, it's like 3/4 of a mile back to the truck. They went and grabbed me a beer.
I thought you were going to say that they said thanks for the beers and that you drag.
No. They ran back and grabbed me one.
Kids love to run.
Oh, that was great. Those boys were so jacked.
Dude, that's the best, man. It's become like a ritual when I'm back home hunting. It's like we hunt, whether we kill something or not, we go back to the truck and we always have beer, at least 1 and probably 3, but
those are the best beer. We did it when you got yours last
we did.
season. I stopped at Quick Trip on the way and got a case of Busch. I was
Thank you for doing
priorities, that. Man. I got the water and the beer, and we got it done. And that's like having those beers at the end. That's like, I don't know. It's like the best beer because you just earned it or something. Yeah,
capstone right there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
or you just slow down and enjoy the moment because we're not leaving until that beer's done.
No.
Yeah, even if you don't kill anything, you still worked hard getting into the stand, and you took a lot of energy out climbing up the tree.
Beer every time we hunt. That's probably worth it too. You know what? I think we deserve it. Well, in deer camp you do.
Yeah, and if you don't have a what do you call a freaking not a self climber, what is it?
Well, we got the saddle. We got
the saddle.
Hang-ons.
If you don't have the saddle, I'm sitting there freaking pulling my whole body weight up. Trying to get up there. I guess the saddle's a little bit easier, but
they're easier to carry out. You still got to do a lot of work when you get to the base of the tree, but you're not carrying all that. Like it's a different paradigm for weight because you're wearing it on the way in. It doesn't weigh too much.
Not to mention I don't know how you guys feel. I mean, I know you've seen the memes and the videos about it, but like when you're in the woods by yourself and it's pitch black dark, it could be a terrifying place.
Oh, it is.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I get freaked out sometimes.
I always when I get down from the stand,
really fake, or is he? No, I'm starting to wonder.
See, I'm weird like that. I brought a headlamp with me when I went down to Illinois and Iowa this year. I was shed hunting in the dark for like 3 hours, so I was walking around in the dark on purpose looking for antlers because I'm a little bit special that way.
Yeah, apparently.
Not me, man. Not me. Nope. As soon as I get down, I'm out.
No navigation in the dark. My navigation is getting worse as I age. I'm not sure what's happening. It's never been Actually, it was great. There's a time when I was like, I could navigate out all this shit. I got it. It's getting for you witnessed it firsthand. We were out there. I was like, where? What? No, I would have been totally dead wrong.
It's all right.
What the hell's wrong with me? At nighttime, it gets fucked.
Nighttime, it totally messes
Like
you
I
up.
can't. There's nothing to like gauge at all.
Really
That's half the stress from trying to blood track the deer last year. I was like, well, now that it's dark, I don't even know what's going on. I don't even know where the tree is. Like I was freaking out.
Anxiety creeps in.
Yeah,
totally clouds.
Yeah.
I think it's not the scariest I've ever been in the woods. I think the scariest moments in the woods are when you're by yourself and you're like way back in the woods. Like my dad got lost one time in the woods before I was born, and like this was before cell phones, so he got lost, and then finally the cops ended up finding him. Anywho, it's like it terrifies you, man. Like I saw a bobcat in the woods last year or 2 years ago. And it's not the biggest creature, you know what I mean? Like it's like a huge house cat. But man, the bobcat, it's like I heard something moving and I turned around in the stand and I locked eyes with the bobcat, but the bobcat knew I was there before I even turned around. And so that's what scares me. And like when I saw him, he ran off. But I'm like, man, I've got to get down and I've got to walk out of here at the end of the night. I don't know where the bobcat is. Like that's the kind of stuff that really freaks me out.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
And anyone that says different, unless maybe it's Derek, is usually full of shit.
Well, Derek's full of shit.
I am full of shit. I can verify that. Full of shit.
Well, hey, I want to play before we kind of wind down. I think the way my setup is, we should be able to hear.
Time will tell, Eric.
The computer music. So can we skip this? I want to see if I can play it. I got to like log into my Spotify.
Okay.
Hold on here.
Well, while you're doing that, man, I do want to kind of let the people know I've got this new apparel brand. It's called Crooked Oak Outdoors.
There it is.
We grew up off of Crooked Oak Lane, so my brother and I and his father-in-law wanted to start it up. So we'll be going live here in the next month or so, hopefully, and selling some outdoor apparel. We got this Crooked Oak shirt. The back's a nice big old buck, the American flag. We got a bunch of cool shit, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, man, we're gonna try to hop on some hunting trends, and once the fall comes around, hopefully we'll sell a bunch. We'll shoot you guys some.
That's badass, dude.
I love
that.
Design on the back is pretty
I love
cool.
that. That's the road that you grew up on. That's really
cool. Man. We had to do something with it. We were trying to find a name, and that's the only thing we could really. We thought of a bunch of different ones, but that's the only
you can do with like making a porn star name, or it's like your middle name, the street you grew up on.
Yeah. Our family cabin,
Crooked Grove.
My parents' cabin, right? It's on a little dead end road.
Yeah,
it's called Memory Lane. I don't think I knew that till I was like 8 because everyone kept stealing the damn street sign because this is Memory Lane.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
We just talked to one of the guys who works for the town. He's a buddy of mine. And he said that they stolen 40 signs. And they have like some special bolt system that you can't like access it, but people still are freaking ripping them off. Somebody stole the whole metal pole.
Oh my god!
To get the Memory Lane.
That's awesome.
Oh.
Well, I guess I know I could do like the porn thing if I need to.
She's sturdy, but she's a little.
So my middle name is Thomas.
She's leaning to the right.
Well, Crooked. Yeah, Crooked is it's a good first.
That's an interesting one.
Where yours ends, mine bends.
So like one of the streets I lived on at the time, it's like my middle name is Thomas, so you'd say Tommy, and then the road is Sunny Ridge, so like Tommy Sunny Ridge. I'm like, that totally does sound like a. You know what I mean? It kind of works. You know, there's here. Let's see if we can get it to play here.
All right.
I think. Oh wait, where am I? Spotify. Can we skip this? There it is. I want to hear you sing. That's what I'm waiting for. My battery died.
6 p.m. back here drinking. It's only Monday. Ready for the weekend. Work's been hell. Need to pick me up. Me and this dude done had enough. Then I see pretty blonde hair and blue jeans sitting by herself needing nude.
Okay, so the girl you got in the music video, just is the description you just mentioned. And that dude, your voice is great. I like. It's weird to hear you talk and then hear you sing. Usually it goes the other way. Like most people hear someone sing for the first time, they hear them on the radio or Spotify, whatever, and then that's what they sound like.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. Does it match or no?
Oh yeah, I think so.
All right.
Well, yes and no. I don't know. I'm impressed. I'm not saying I was doubting it, but I always wonder how you get from a talking voice to such a good singing voice like that.
Well, I'm not saying you doubted it. I'm thinking more like when I hear people talk, I can kind of tell if they can sing or not. Like if they got a really good tone, that's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah, I mean, you got a good voice for. I had to switch the camera to the GoPro because our battery died and my dummy battery isn't working. This other camera, so
that's all good.
There's cameras in this room, and I'm the switchboard guy because I don't have an intern, and I don't do a good job.
You have an intern soon, man. Before you know it.
Yeah. Well, we had someone volunteer, and I actually kind of was like, "Oh, I think we could do it," but then I have to like duplicate my setup completely because in case they can't make it, I'm not trying to rewire something the night before I have to record because it's always like I'm down here in the last possible minute.
Right.
One of those, but
you've been doing better and better. I gotta say, you've been pretty smooth this last year.
We got to kind of figure it out for now.
Knock on wood. You've been pretty fucking smooth, Clark.
Are we talking about deer hunting? Or are we talking about?
No, not deer hunting at all.
No, thanks for being our guest, man. We appreciate it. And just remind people where to find you on social and on Spotify so they know.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys having me. But you can find me troygrove.music on any platform. Spotify is just Troy Grove, but we got a lot of good music coming out here shortly. So I'm excited for the future. Hopefully get that record deal signed soon so you'll hear me on the radio, man.
Hell yeah. And check out Crooked Oak because that comes up pretty soon and you can get some sweet apparel.
CrookedOakOutdoors.com. That's coming soon. But hey, listen, before you go, I'd love to come up. Where you guys at? Wisconsin?
Yeah, yes, we're in Wisconsin. Yep.
I'd love to come there, and I'd love to show you around Maryland. Maybe we go like whitetail or sick of deer hunting while we're out there.
If you're up here, man, like let us know because I know, like obviously, Interstate's got HQs here in Wisconsin.
Yep.
And they do a lot of fun stuff in the summer, concert events and stuff around the area. I know you're gone. One of the events that they're doing at the park in Sussex, wherever that is.
One in July. Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, they got a lot of stuff going on. So I imagine you find your way up here at some point, and we'll be happy to connect.
Yeah, man, I get what Sam. We'll figure it out. But I'd love to hunt up there, and same goes to you if you ever want to go. You know, even Tennessee or Maryland, we can get it going.
I know this tree stump that's got my attention in Maryland.
I mean, hey, listen, that's gonna cost you a few thousand, but
all right,
we can get you there.
Thanks again, man. We'll have a good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you. We'll be back next week doing the same thing.
See ya.
See ya.
See you guys. Thanks.